Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Superfan Sessions, a podcast where we unpack Big Brother. I'm a different person since the last time we spoke. I do want to say the last episode got 70 views, which is crazy for us here at Superfan Sessions. I was under the impression that this podcast was really just me. But I believe we also gained another subscriber, so shout out to you, whoever you may be. Shout out to the 70 viewers in the last episode. Don't know if we'll ever reach that peak again, but I really appreciated that, so thank you so much. Since the last time we spoke, I also did attend the Big Brother premiere party in New York, and it was in fact the best 2 nights of my entire life. I could do an entire podcast episode speaking on that, but I don't think I will be doing that. However, just know that it was the best time ever. I met my favorite players. I do want to give a special shout out to Hannah Chada because she's like one of my favorite. I think she is my favorite person to ever play Big Brother, and I just love her so dearly, and she was so kind. And she commented on my Instagram post, and we're best friends, and I just love her so dearly. So shout out Hannah Chada. I love her. But yeah, that was the best time ever. However, we're here to talk about this season of Big Brother. Big Brother 26, week 1 recap, and my rankings are what we are going to go over in this week's episode. So we're going to get right into it. The house guests all moved in. As I'm making this, I think it's currently day... TBH, what day is it? Comment down below if you know what day it is, because I don't know what day it is. Alright. As I'm making this, it is day 13. So, seems like the perfect time to go over what happened in week 1. Now, week 1 was a crazy week, but it's proved that this season is going to be a good one. So the house guests moved in. It was kind of annoying because they moved in separately. Like, the first night of the premiere was 8 people moving in, and then the second night was another 8. It also was not a live move-in, and we didn't get feeds until day 3, I think, which was crazy because they had already formed a whole bunch of relationships and alliances and everything like that. So it was tough to kind of jump in on day 3, and it was even like the night too, so we didn't get that full day. But so we met all of our house guests, and I have to say I really do like this cast this season. There's only like 3 of them that I didn't really vibe with, which we'll get into in my rankings. But the first 8 house guests moved in, and they all competed for... So this season, the theme is AI, which at first I was like, oh god, that's going to be annoying. But it honestly hasn't been that bad. If you recall from my first episode, I mentioned how they were going to have the option to vote in a 17th house guest. And that 17th house guest name was Ainsley, and she was actually AI. And if you voted yes to her coming in, you had a chance to compete for power, and if you voted no, you unfortunately competed to see who would lose, and if you lost, then you got a punishment of sorts. And those punishments were given to Cam, not Cam. Those punishments were given to Cedric and Chelsea. They couldn't play in HOH, couldn't play in veto, couldn't vote, but they could be nominated. However, they were not nominated, but we'll get to that later. And they also had to be mascots for the competitions, which was actually hilarious. But so the people that won the powers were Quinn and Mackenzie. Quinn won a deep fake HOH, which I think is a great power, and I'm glad that it was given to Quinn and not Mackenzie. But the deep fake HOH basically gives him the power to override the HOH and like redo their noms, and no one will know that it was him that did it. And that's really really good, especially for Quinn. And we'll get into that later, but that's really good for Quinn. And then Mackenzie won America's Veto, which I honestly don't think is that good of a power because it's America's power and not Mackenzie's. But basically, if someone's on the block or if she's on the block, she could take them off. And then America has a live vote of who they want to go up in their place, which is good for us because we can all vote people that we don't like to go up there. But that's like a mid power. I think Quinn's is like really, really good. They do have 4 weeks to use it, and it can only be used once. So far, they haven't been used. I'm looking forward to them being used, and I hope they actually do get used at some point because I feel like power's going to waste. It's just boring. So Quinn and Mackenzie currently have the powers in the house. Some people do know about it, some people do not know about it, and we will get into that. Then we had the HOH competition. The HOH comp was actually a really good competition. I've noticed this season that the competitions have been really equitable, really fun, really unique. And I don't know if they got a new team for that, but like reindeer games, the competitions there were really unique and equitable as well. So I wonder if the reindeer games people came in and did that. But I've been loving the competition so far. And because the competition was equitable, Angela won the HOH. Angela, if we don't remember, she was like the 50-year-old real estate agent. She won the HOH, and it was kind of like Gag City. Like, oh my god, that's so fun and interesting that like the oldest woman in the house won over like everyone, and everyone was like, oh my god, slay queen. And yeah, now her nominations, she kind of put a lot of pawns on the block because she did have a bigger target in mind. Now, Angela's nominations were Kenny, Lisa, and Chemo. And pretty much all of these were pawns because the first night, obviously, we didn't see it on feeds. However, the edited show did show us this. The first night we saw a conversation between Angela and Matt where Angela was saying, oh, you're going to get into a showmance. Like, look at you. Like, all these girls in here are going to want you. You're going to be the showmance. And like all these different things. And Matt was like, well, what the hell, dog? Like, what do you mean by that? And Angela just like kept coming at him like that. So Angela wanted Matt out because he was also actually getting slowly into a showmance with Mackenzie, as much as you can showmance in week 1. And Angela peeped that and she said, okay, well, you're my target now. So then, Angela's having these one-on-one conversations with everyone, as the HOH does, and Matt took it as an opportunity to kind of threaten Angela and be like, hey, if you put me on the block, I have the numbers, I have the votes, like, I'm staying. So Angela took that as a threat and was like, whoa, why is this little kid threatening me? So because of this, the day of the veto competition, Angela wakes up bright and early, 8 a.m. And I fear she just starts going a little crazy. And she went off on Matt. She went off on Matt in front of the entire house at 8 a.m. telling everyone how he threatened her and he's crazy and he has crazy eyes. And how, like, she's going to get him out of the house and all this stuff. I need to reiterate, 8 a.m. in front of the entire house. Everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? What is actually going on in this house right now? This was day 5, I believe. Day 5, and there's already a fight. It was crazy. It was insane. I unfortunately didn't see it on feeds because I was at work, but I was on Twitter catching up with the whole thing, and it was crazy. It was crazy, actually. It was insane. And this was just the beginning of Angela being crazy, because in the beginning she was like everyone's mom. Everyone was calling her mama already. Like, she was the mother of the house. And then she turned crazy. And one of my biggest, like, if I'm ever on Big Brother, I want to align with the mothers of the house because, like, I just feel like they're very comforting and, like, fun, and that's someone that I would want to align myself with. And Angela just popped off, and it was crazy to watch. It really was. So after that, everyone's like terrified of Angela, and everyone's on Matt's side, but they're not really on Matt's side. But anyways, we had the veto comp after that, and it was a spelling comp. Like, I'm so glad they brought that back. Unfortunately, we did not get to see a lot of it because it was the episode with the fight. But the comp was so good, and I have been planning for the spelling comp for my entire life. Like, I have a few different words in my notes app that have been sitting in there that if I ever played in the spelling comp, they would be up there. It's true, they would be. I'm not going to reveal them because if I'm ever on Big Brother, and anyone else listening to this that's also in the same cast as me, like, I can't reveal my strategy. Even though I just said I would want to work with the mothers, but I changed my mind after I said that, after I saw Angela, so I'm not telling you my words. You thought, but it's not happening. But Lisa pulled out the win for the spelling comp, and Lisa took herself off the block. And of course, obviously, Lisa is gonna use that veto on herself. Now this is where we start to see Lisa going a bit silly. The Big Brother house does that to you. You're trapped in a house with 15 strangers and you're disconnected from the outside world, and the whole game is to get people out, so obviously you're paranoid. So when Matt is campaigning, after Lisa takes herself off the block, Angela does put Matt up. Obviously, she wants that man out of the house. So Matt's campaigning to everyone, and he gets to Lisa, and he's like, hey, so just so you know, everyone thinks you have the power. And Lisa starts losing her mind, going crazy. Like, it was insane. Matt and Lisa had a whole probably 2-hour conversation on feeds, and it was just them talking in circles about how Lisa doesn't have the power and how Matt needs to keep his mouth shut about things and like all this stuff. And it was just crazy and silly and funny. The feeds were so good this day. Like, it was insane. Because also what we didn't discuss was after Angela and Matt's fight, they did have a conversation in which they both apologized, and like Matt thought it was civil, and Angela was like, oh, well, I'm not going to put you up, but who should I put up? And Matt was like, oh, you could put up T-Core, you could put up Tucker. And of course Angela wasn't having any of this, so she tells T-Core that Matt was trying to put her up, but Angela also was going insane and thought that Matt asked T-Core to volunteer to go up, and she thought that T-Core was going to do it, but T-Core had no idea that this was happening. So as Matt and Lisa are having this 2-hour conversation, Angela's telling T-Core that Matt wanted her to go up. Tucker was crying because he is so funny. He was like, I'm gonna win this game. Like, this game is so hard, but I'm gonna win. I love this game. He's basically just crying over how bad he loved the game. And I was like, yeah, you're just like me for real. You're just like me for real. And then Tucker was telling Matt that he was going to go up, that he volunteered to go up. He never did that. And it was so funny because after Matt got put on the block, Matt and Mackenzie were so confused and so in the dark. They were like, oh my god, why didn't Tucker go up? And Tucker was like, man, I told her to put me up. I don't know. He is hysterical. But anyways, back to the Matt and Lisa conversation. Matt tells Lisa that everyone thinks that she has the power in the house, and there was another group outside in the hammock just talking about, how every cast every season is like, oh, this person is lying about their job. Oh, they were having one of those conversations. Lisa hears her name from across the yard and storms back there and starts yelling at them. She's like, there's just many misconceptions going on about me in the house right now, and I just need to clear them up. And like everyone in that hammock conversation was like, girl, what? Like, we were literally being silly and joking, and you come into this conversation so hot like that. Like, girl, calm down. So that was funny. That was a really good day on feeds. Speaking of Lisa and Tucker, we need to get into the Tucker and Lisa beef. Tucker loathes that woman with everything in him, and it's actually hysterical. Tucker's just a hater to his core. He's just like me, for real. And Tucker is one of the best casting decisions we've had in a really long time, because he's a hater without being like misogynistic, or like, he's a hater without being a horrible person. And I really appreciate that, and I love that, and we need more of that on Big Brother. It's true, we do. But because Tucker and Lisa are both chefs, when the feeds came on, obviously we didn't have night one feeds, so we didn't really know what was happening. But in the episode, we saw Tucker quite literally introducing himself to everyone, and Lisa interrupts him and is like, oh my god, I'm a chef too. And that was the start of it all. Minute one, night one, Tucker being like, I'm a chef. And Lisa said, me too, bitch, you ain't special. And now he hates that woman, and it's so funny to watch. It's so funny to watch. They did a segment about it. It's just hysterical. He hates her so bad. He hates her so bad, and it's just funny. At the end of the day, it's just funny. So then after everything is settled, you know, there is a new twist. So after everything is settled, Matt is on the block against Kenny and Chemo. So with the new AI twist, there's a new competition called the AI Arena. And basically what that is on eviction night, the 3 people on the block... Oh, I also forgot to mention that there's 3 people on the block. Twist! The 3 people on the block compete live in like a quick competition, and whoever wins that is saved from the block. So when the nominations are locked in and it's Kenny, Matt, and Chemo, everyone's kind of scrambling because they don't know who's gonna win and take themselves off. You know, Matt was so confident that he would win because he's this like meathead jock, and he was like, oh please, I got this, like I'm so gonna win, whatever. He was so confident. So confident he had the votes as well, but spoiler alert, that man is not in that house right now. Anyways, so Kenny and Matt had formed like a really close bond because, you know, Matt's dad was in the military, and Matt's dad is a cop, and Kenny's a cop, and everything like that. So they connected over that. And there was this conversation happening while Matt and Lisa were having their conversation. That 2-hour-long conversation, remember? But when that was happening, Angela was in the kitchen talking to Kenny, and she was just like, hey, like, just so you know, I really have faith in you to win the AI comp and beat Matt because he needs to leave. And Kenny was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going against Matt. Like, I have loyalty to Matt. Like, I'm not going to win over him because I want him to stay. And Angela's going off on him like, bro, you need to win this, because why are you trying to keep someone safe that you've known for like a week? And it was just like a back and forth of Kenny and Angela. And that I did catch on feeds, and that was good. That was funny. But it's also like, Kenny, bro. Angela made so many points in that, because why are you acting like Matt saved your life? Like, he's just like a friend that you met 6 days ago, and now you're like, I want to save him over myself. Dog, what? This is Big Brother. This is Big Brother. You're in the Big Brother house, so let's be serious. Let's lock in here. After a few days, Kenny did decide that he was actually going to try, but that was just like weird. That was just like weird behavior of him to be like, yeah, I have loyalty to Matt. Dog, you've known him for like a day. Be for real. Be for real. So then eviction night comes, the AI arena comes, And guess who wins it, everyone? I'd like you all to guess. I'll give you 5 seconds. Yeah, it was chemo. That was not 5 seconds. But it was chemo. Everyone cheered. Everyone cheered. I jumped up and down. I cheered. I yippied. I yosed. Like everyone. Everyone cheered. The cheer heard round the world. Everyone cheered. I was so excited. I was so happy for chemo because he was the underdog in that situation. He was up against two, guys that were so confident they were going to win that shit. And then chemo came out and did it. And I was so proud of him for that. And everyone else was as well. They told the house guests and they were cheering. They were so happy. So now Matt is so confident he has the votes. Well, he doesn't. It's Matt versus Kenny. Matt gets 3 votes. 8-3. Leah, Lisa, and Mackenzie vote to keep Matt. Matt is evicted from the Big Brother house. Womp womp. There was a lot of discourse on social medias about who was right in the Angela Matt fight. I don't think either of them were right. Matt seems like a good guy actually, but I am glad that he left because he could have won his way through the entire game, and that would just be unfair. It would have been a steamroll, and I'm glad that he was out on the first eviction. So now we're going to go over, so that was week 1. Now we're going to go over a bit of the alliances that are happening. Now the alliances are kind of all over the place because you know how Big Brother is in the first couple of days. Like they start alliances, then they break, and then they fall, and then whatever. So there was an alliance called the Collective, and girl, I don't even remember who was in it, but I just know that it was Angela, Joseph, Quinn. I forget who else was in it, to be honest, but it was proposed to Angela, and she was like, yes, I love this. And then in her DR, she's like, this is fake. They're plotting against me. Angela is insane. And, like, it's great TV, and I love it. But the real alliances, as of right now, we have the Pentagon, which is Quinn, Brooklyn, Chelsea, Cedric, and Cam. We have the core of basically the Pentagon, which is Cam, Chelsea, and Cedric. Now that's kind of like one of the very few like real alliances. We also have the Andersons, which is a cute little alliance that I enjoy, but I don't know how real and I don't know how long that's gonna last. But that's Quinn, Cam, Tucker, and Chemo. They were all have-nots, so they decided to align together. And mind you, that's an all-male alliance, and guess what? I actually like it. Yeah, it's crazy, but I actually like it. I like all those people in it, and I think that's a really strong alliance that we have going on. We do have some like final twos and such. For example, this is a really random final two, but Angela and Quinn have a final two called BB guns. I don't think that will last because, well, not to spoil week 2, but Angela did go off on Quinn. And while we're at it, let's talk about the feeds. Now, Big Brother has always advertised 24/7 live feeds. However, since Angela's fight with Matt, the feeds have gone off. The feeds have been cut when, like, confrontations happen. And I don't really understand why that's been happening. So CBS, Paramount Plus, if you're watching this, cut that shit out. As Suri Fields once said, clean that shit up. Like, stop doing that. Anyways, so yeah, those are like kind of the main alliances happening right now. Obviously, we do have final twos, like Chemo and T-Core are a really close duo. Quinn and Leah made a final two, but I don't know if that's, what else? Lisa and Leah have a little something going on. They have since like the very beginning. There's a lot of different things going on here. Every day I feel like they're making new alliances. And what's really cool is that, well, I don't know if this is cool, but everyone seems to want Quinn in their alliance. And now everyone has been comparing Quinn to Corey from last season. However, I've been thinking this, and someone finally tweeted it yesterday, and I was like, thank you. Quinn to me is giving more Tyler Crispin BB20 because everyone wants to align with him, and he's saying yes to every single alliance. And yeah, that's going to get him far, especially with his deepfake HOH, because if he has a target, instead of actually getting blood on his hands, he could secretly do it, which is like perfect for him specifically because he is in so many alliances and everyone wants to work with him. However, it's going to get him far, but it could also screw up everything because as we saw, Tyler wasn't aligned with all these people and then he got second place and didn't win because of all the alliances. Like that can get really messy sometimes. So Quinn better be careful here. Now, speaking of Quinn, we're gonna start my rankings because I think this is a perfect place to start. So, my rankings have changed quite a bit since preseason. Obviously, that always happens, and they're still changing every day. So, this could be different. This will be different than next week's rankings. I could already tell. But my number one right now is Quinn. I enjoy the gameplay he has. You know, the different alliances are just like, it's just like interesting to watch. I like him as a person. Everyone on Twitter is starting to hate him because they're like, oh, he wants to be Corey so bad. He wants to be Corey so bad. I don't think they're that similar. I really don't. Like, they have different personalities in my opinion. Quinn is so funny. Like, I just really enjoy his personality and I really like watching him on feeds. So right now, Quinn is my number one. My number two is T-Core. T-Core was my preseason favorite and she's my season favorite. I love her. I think she is in the best position in the house right now. Everyone finds her presence calming. Everyone wants to talk to her all the time. She clocks shit so fast. Like, she knows everything that's going on in that house without actually knowing. Like, she's not in really any like solid alliances, but she's still like, no one's ever gonna be like, oh, let's put T-Core up. Like, I don't think she's ever, at least for now, like, she's not in danger anytime soon. And I really think she's positioned herself so well in that house that, like, she's killing it. She's killing the game. My number three is Tucker. Tucker's just so entertaining. He's just so entertaining. He just lies for no reason. He hates. Like, Tucker is what we need in a Big Brother player. It's giving old school Big Brother. And, like, I just love him. I just love Tucker. He's just so entertaining to me. Next we have Chemo. Now, like I mentioned previously, Chemo and T-Core are in a cute little duo, and I think they're both in such a good position in the house. Even though Chemo was on the block week 1, you know, he was able to save himself. And that was just like, I was just so proud of him for that. And I think a lot of people really like him, and he's starting to come out of his shell more, and I like him as a person, and I enjoy him as a game player as well. Him and T-Core are always clocking what's going on in that house, and I love that for them. Next we have Rubina. Now, we haven't seen much from Rubina game-wise, but I just enjoy her personality a lot. I think she's really cool, and she's definitely someone that I would love to be friends with if given the chance. Rubina and Tucker have a little something. Like, they don't, but like they do. Like, people on Twitter are shipping them. They're really cute. And I don't know, it's just entertaining for me. So I really like Rubina, and she's pretty, and I love her personality. Next we have Cedric. Cedric is just cutie patootie. At the end of the day, Cedric is just a little cutie patootie, and he's so funny. Oh my god, he's hysterical. And Quinn low-key has beef with Cedric because Quinn is a super fan of the show, and Cedric has seen like 7 YouTube clips, and to me it's hysterical because he's like, Cedric doesn't know anything going on and Quinn knows everything, and it's just funny to see that like little beef happening. But yeah, Cedric is cutie patootie and he's funny and I just enjoy him as a person. I would love to see a Cedric HOH. Like, I wonder what he would do, and I would love to see it. I really would. Next, we have Leah. I judged Leah preseason so much. I really did not like her. I thought she was going to be dumb, blonde, annoying. And she is something. I can say that. But one thing she is entertaining. Leah is really entertaining. I don't like the people that she's chosen to align with. Chosen? Is that a word? Well, yes, but anyways. But like, week 1, she was really third wheeling Matt and Mackenzie, which was just, she should not have been doing that. She is really close with Mackenzie, and I don't know how I feel about Mackenzie, but you know, Leah's just entertaining to me, and Leah is causing drama in that house without even knowing it, because she's a flirter. She really is. And I feel like that's low-key great game, because all the men are down bad for her. And it's like, girl, that's gonna get you far. Except the one man that she wants is not down bad for her. And that's the funniest part about it. That's the funniest part about it. Everyone on Twitter is like, oh my god, this isn't Love Island. Why is she playing like it's Love Island? I love Big Brother. I love game. I love it all. And I don't like showmances. However, I think flirting is part of the game, because like that's gonna get her far without actually getting her in a showmance. And also, it's giving us drama. It's giving us love square triangle. It's entertaining to me, and everyone on Twitter is turning against her now. But I'm like, you know what? That's very interesting that y'all all of a sudden hate her because she's flirting with the men. Interesting. That's very interesting. I'm not gonna say more on that matter. Next, we have Joseph. I love Joseph. It's true, I do. I was expecting more from him, though. Like, preseason, he was in my big 3 with T-Core and Rubina. But I was expecting more from him, which is also why Rubina dropped a bit in my rankings, because I was expecting more from her as well. Joseph's really quiet, and like in his interviews I wasn't expecting that from him, but he's really quiet and reserved. But I also think that's a good thing, because that could also mean he's very observant. I feel like he's never on feeds, which is so unfortunate, because if he was on feeds more, like he could be in my top 3 again. But I feel like he's just never on feeds, which is really unfortunate. So I never see him talk game, and like I don't know what's going on. But sometimes I see clips of him on Twitter and I'm like, he's hysterical. It's true. And he just had his birthday, so happy birthday, Joseph. Shout out to Joseph if you're listening to this, even though you're quite literally in the Big Brother house, but who's to say? Anyways, next we have Cam. Cam is so fine and cute, and he's a good guy. Like, at the end of the day, he's a good guy. Again, he's someone I haven't really seen a lot of game from, but I just like him as a person. So he's my number 9. Number 10, we have Chelsea. It's really unfortunate because Chelsea has some problematic views outside of the house. However, I like her as a character. Like, I know these are real people, but like I like her as a character in the show of Big Brother. She has good DRs, she has good like game talks. I enjoy her as a character, but I don't enjoy her as a person, which is why I had to put her, not that I don't enjoy her as a person, but she just has problematic views. Which is why I had to put her lower on the list. But I do think that she's an entertaining aspect of the show this season. Next we have Lisa. I'm sorry, Lisa just annoys me. Like, I get Tucker. I do. She does annoy me, I fear. And I'm sure she's a great gal. She just annoys me, so I had to put her low. Sorry, Lisa. Sorry. But yeah. Next we have Angela. Now, obviously, Angela did have some problematic moments in the house week 1. But week 2, it's been really sad for her, and I feel really bad. Like, no matter who a person is, it's just sad to see them, like, I don't know, isolated. Everyone's kind of staying away from her because she could blow up at any second, but it's just like getting sad. I'm an empath at the end of the day. Like, I just like, sorry, girl. I just feel bad for her. But she is like a basket case and could blow up at any second. Next, we have Brooklyn. Brooklyn is just there. I have no thoughts on her. She's just there. She's a married mother, though, if you didn't know, if it wasn't obvious. But she's really, for me, like, she's just there. Next, we have Mackenzie. I am interested in seeing her play without Matt, even though it's been a few days without him. But she hasn't really done anything that's, like, riveting. So I'm excited to see how she could break away from that Matt Mance and see where she goes from there. Speaking of Matt, next we have Matt. Well, he's gone, so I don't really have any thoughts on him. He seemed like a good guy, but he was just like bad at the game, and I don't know. Maybe he just wasn't meant to be on Big Brother, but seems like a good guy. And then last we have Kenny. Kenny is one person that is, again, just like kind of there for me. Like, I really like don't care. No offense to Kenny, but like I don't care. And also, you want to go home, so like go home, dog. Literally go home. So those are my rankings. Comment down below your rankings. And then that's all for this episode today. As of right now in the game, it's week 2, day 13, like I said. Spoilers, obviously, this podcast is all about spoilers, kind of. But Chelsea is currently the HOH. The noms are... Who are the noms? Oh, Angela, Lisa, and Kenny. Who won HOH? Or no. Yes. The noms are Angela, Lisa, and Kenny. Kenny won veto, even though he was telling everyone he literally wanted to go home, but then he changes his mind every hour, so Kenny won veto. And as I'm making this, they're currently doing the veto meeting, and I believe Tucker will be going up because he volunteered to go up. And at the end of the week, either Angela or Lisa will be going home. They keep changing their minds because everyone is annoyed with Lisa, but they want Angela gone because she's crazy and can do anything at any time. So we will have to see who goes home this week. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.